You have to create that buffer, whatever that buffer is, so that you can say, okay, what do I really want here? And I probably get weekly practice in being target fixated when I spend time with my daughters. So those of you that might know Cassandra, my oldest daughter, love her to death, by the way. So whatever I'm going to say, I love her to death. And she's heard me tell this story. So I specifically remember where we were all sitting at dinner, and Cassandra, by the way, just to give you a little bit of background, Cassandra is 19 years old. We're in Montreal. She's my oldest daughter. I have a younger one that's 15, Lindsay. And Cassandra has the manual on my triggers. So she, somewhere along the way, got this manual, and she knows what to say, what to do that just gets me triggered, that gets me into target fixation. She doesn't do it on purpose, it just happens naturally. And so we're at dinner, and all of us sitting around the table, and she announces to me that she's quitting college. She's taking her gap year. And I immediately, as great a father that I think I am, I was not the best father on that day. I immediately got triggered, and I went, really? You want to talk about this right now, like with everyone here? And I proceeded to, metaphorically, get on a soapbox and give her a sermon about how important education is and to move forward. So how well do you think that conversation went? No, not very well. I wasn't actually really observant as to how well that conversation wasn't going, because I kept talking until she stood up in tears and walked into the bathroom. So I was locked in target fixation. I was locked in what I perceived as my objective, which was really just something else. It was an obstacle. My true objective, what do I really want? I really want my daughter to be happy. I want her to be happy, and I want her to be happy in life. So me getting up on that soapbox and giving her that speech, did that get us to what we really wanted? No, it didn't. So this is the other thing that I want to talk about around target fixation, is that we can get caught up in this. We can get so stuck in it that we don't necessarily see what do we really want in all of this. And the second part of this story is that as leaders, as people, as parents, as managers, as colleagues, is that we need to also take responsibility for our impact that we have on others. And I truly inherently believe that especially as parents, that we have an impact wherever we are, when we walk into a room, we have an impact on other people, and we need to be responsible when our impact is not really what we want. So I was locked in target fixation with Cassandra for 3 days. For 3 days. Every time that conversation would come up, I still felt like getting on that metaphorical soapbox and giving that sermon. And it wasn't until 3 days later, I was actually in another city doing a session, and at lunchtime, I had that reflection. I went, holy crap. And that's when I realized, I go, okay, what do I really want in this? What do I really want for Cassandra? And I realized I want her to be happy. I want her to be confident. I want her to be successful. And I just remember picking up the phone, giving her a call. And the story would be great if she actually answered, but she didn't. I think she was screening, but anyways. But I remember I left her a message. I go, Cassandra, I'm really sorry. It says, I realized in that moment when you were telling me about that you were quitting college, all you really wanted was to feel loved. All you really wanted was to me to be that loving parent to say, everything's gonna be okay. And it's gonna be okay. And I'm sorry, and let's talk. She called me back about a half hour later. She said, thanks, Dad. So that's really kind of two things that all I really wanted to say, and which is be aware of when you're in target fixation. Know how to get out of it. Really see what's your true objective. What do you want to get to? And the second one is take responsibility for your impact. Each of us have a unique impact. When we walk into a room, we each impact the people around us differently. If it's working for you, great. Like if you create that energy when you walk in, wonderful. But if you're doing something like with Cassandra, if I get on that soapbox and I gotta clean that up, that's not her responsibility to come back to me and say, you're a really shitty dad. You know, I need to go and clean that up. So my hopes of this, and really the hope, someone asked me, why did I write the book? And it comes down to is that I want people to see, and I want people to believe that it can be different. We don't need to be stuck in that state, that we can move forward, we can move to a different place. And that, I guess, is really for me, what the book was about. So that's why I do this. That's why I go and I talk to people and I do workshops, and it's to open that up and just talk more and have those conversations. That's all I want to say.